Good day to you, Jason here, Birchfield Family Farm, Oxford, Ohio. We're running grass-fed Red Devon cattle, St Croix sheep, chickens, and Idaho pasture pigs in a rotational grazing system. We also do consulting and helping folks get off the ground with their homesteads or small farms. If you're interested in that, pricing and availability, contact me through the website birchfieldfarms.com. Have a good word for you today. This comes from Luke 6. These are Jesus' words. No good tree bears bad fruit, nor does a bad tree bear good fruit. Each tree is recognized by its own fruit. People do not pick figs from thorn bushes or grapes from briars. The good man brings good things out of the good stored up in his heart, and the evil man brings evil things out of the evil stored up in his heart. For out of the overflow of his heart, his mouth speaks. Reminded today of the seasonality to fruit production. We're in a season right now where everything is just exploding. Not sure if you can see the grapevines there. They're just covered in grapes, and I'm reminded of the seasonality and the implications of producing fruit in season, one of which is there are limits. There are limits, and this runs completely countercultural to the mainstream narrative that all is unlimited, right? Think about all of the ways that you're marketed to, how we're told unlimited this, unlimited that, and all of these little underlying lies that imply that all is unlimited, but all is not. I think this is one of the things right now I've been contemplating and really coming to appreciate about the small farm is that it forces us to come back to the place where we embrace limits. That's actually healthy. What I viewed before as restricting or gosh, why can't we do more? No, it's actually a healthy thing to embrace limits. I think when we do that, we produce fruit in season. That's the way it was intended. Okay, we have cattle move to do today, sheep move. Just did the meat birds. We'll take a look at them. And, we have added a new animal here. I have never intended to add pigs to our farm here. They just never were a fit, just simply because they're largely a grained animal. I don't farm grain, and I'm not interested in buying in a bunch of grain. But we found a breed of hog that we're just really curious about. So let's check in on the meat birds here. I'm going to put up our feed schedule. Maybe there's somebody out there that can use this. You can screenshot it. This gives us raises up between a 4 and 5 pound broiler, which is a meat chicken. In 9 weeks. We've done that consistently now, raised batches of 100 here, done that for years, I don't know. And it works, it's repeatable, it's a system that works here. Let's check in on the meats and then we'll go talk hogs. Okay, real quick, you can screenshot this. These are our dates and just what we feed out each week, kind of our schedule there. I just staple this to where we've got our feed, and yes, I do weigh feed down to the 10th of a pound. That's how we do it, and that produces what we need to produce at the end of 9 weeks. Okay, cattle are honked off. We got to get them moved across the farm here. You see I got their shade cloth up. Sun's not high enough in the sky for them really to get under that, and so they're honking a little bit. They still quite a bit left there, but they want to move. We'll get them on the move here. But these meats, these things are, I think we're not quite 3 weeks old yet. And you see they're kind of getting to that ugly stage, right, where the feathers are not quite in. And that's normal. But we do batches of 100 here, use our automatic watering system, and put out the feed at the beginning of the day when we move onto fresh pasture. And they love it. Get the feed bags on the sides there when they start, just to keep the wind and the weather out. Those are biodegradable, and seems to work out for us. So talking grain here, talking meat birds, talking pigs, I don't know, maybe we roll it all up into one here. I'm still at this point, I am not willing to make any kind of grained animal a centerpiece here. So they're all just peripherals. And we do that with intention because I'm not a grain farmer. I'm not interested in spending what my house costs to buy a combine or equipment, or even twice what my house, whatever. You get the point. We have grass here, and that's what we're going to use, and that's what we're going to build our farm off of, is grass. But having said that, there's a context for everything, right? And so one of those peripheral operations are the meat birds. It's not just about the meat, but it's about the fertilizer they put down. We pick a paddock every year and run them through that paddock, and the fertilizer is just phenomenal, what they put down there. And so love that as a peripheral enterprise. And we've added another peripheral enterprise here. I'll flip the camera around. Let's take a look. Okay, these are our Idaho pasture pigs here. Never had the intention of doing these things. However, these guys are about 12 weeks old. The place we used to buy our pork is no longer doing pigs, no longer selling pork, and we are having trouble finding pork for the family that is raised in a way that we agree with, that's available. So here we are. We added these guys. These are Idaho pasture pigs, mix of a Duroc Berkshire and a Cooney. Supposedly the Cooney is supposed to give them a little more grazing action. These things are just so entertaining. They're hilarious to watch. But we are gonna feed them a little bit of grain here and there. But I am primarily interested in running them in our rotation with the chickens. I've been told they will not eat our chickens, our laying hens. And so I think, as part of the rotation, running sheep and cattle like we do multi-species in the paddocks, and then coming behind them with chickens to bust up cow pats, and these guys in there as well, just to give another level of disturbance. They will graze. They've, been in this little pen here. And we have seen them grazing. They do eat actually a good bit of grass, but definitely a learning curve on these guys. But again, with the grain that's required here, we're making pork for the family. This isn't really an enterprise, and it will always be a peripheral operation. So I think sometimes, you can kind of get lost in different breeds and what's best and what's, there's all different breeds of hogs, and the Cooney is probably the best at grazing, but they're a lard pig, and we wanted a little more meat to the carcass rather than lard. Lard's a good thing. A lot of people don't know. High in vitamin D, can be a source of vitamin D, but not really wanting that as a primary kind of thing, wanting more on the meat side. And so I think those IPPs could be a fit here. I think again, rotating them behind sheep and cattle and just giving that extra level of disturbance. But one more thing to figure out, right? Benefits so far, not really too hard so far, but we'll have to keep them rotating like everything else. Come on, Moose, let's go. Okay, we're supposed to be up in the 80s here. And potentially coming up on mid 80s, a little unusual here for mid-May, but so we are headed over to our pond pasture. We'll walk and talk here as we get them on the move. It's just a hose. You're all right. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. No, that way. So they've never done this. Yeah. Come on. So we're gonna send them this way and around the corner. Girls are kind of guarding there you go. And we did not extend the lease to our farmer that rents the rest of our pastures this year. You've probably noticed that with the sheep out in what we call the windmill pasture. Push up, Sarah. Go on, Moo. And well, look at those calves putting on the weight, especially M's there all the way to the right. Wow, that's a January calf, which by the way we will not do again. Hey, go on. No, that way. Go with mama. I don't know why they're so confused here. Around the corner. There we go. But anyhow, that gives us, we're still going to do our pasture rotation, still have our paddocks and everything like that. But we're taking that next step. We're growing into, we're going to be grazing like 20 acres now, which is quite a change compared to what we're used to. So I wanted to kind of talk about that today. Look at this grass, just incredible. And we'll get the sheep moved over here as well. But I want to talk today about 3 tips for successful grass-fed sheep and cattle farming. Just want to go over 3 basic things that we've learned here. Let's get sheep on the move, and then we'll come over here and we'll talk through this. Okay, so there's our layers there in that chicken tractor. Meat birds are here. Got our pile of chicken manure here. That's from the coop. Wood chips that we mix in with the layer. The layers mix it in with manure all winter long, and then we've got our fertility there. So sheep are way out there on the windmill pasture. What do you think, girls? Think you can get them? Yeah. All right, Sam's out there on the drone. He's going to help you too. Come on, sheeps. Come on, sheeps. Yeah, this is going to be a little more challenging than the cattle move here. Okay, here they come. Sam's back there somewhere with the drone as well. We've herded sheep. Oh yeah, there he is. I see him between the girls there. We've herded sheep with the drone. So between the 2 girls and the drone there, looks like they got them coming this way. They should pop up over the hill here anytime. And here comes the flock. Come on, guys. Now, when we have done this in the past, it is just complete chaos because those lambs have trouble staying with mama. And come on, sheeps. And then the mamas are trying to get back to the lambs. And so we're going to try and keep them together here. Hey, nice job, nice job. I think if we can keep them pushed up against this fence. We're trying to hold them tight to the fence here to make this turn. I know. All right. Hey, F, come push up this way so they don't go over here. Yeah. We'll keep them tight against this fence. Yeah, keep pushing them. Let's keep them together. And we'll need to get a head count too to make sure we've got everybody. I see you trying to sneak over here, Mama. I'm loving that bush. I think that's a multiflora rose, maybe. Okay, here come the calves to say hello. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Hey. Okay, hey, Sarah, come down here. I'm going to push those calves back. Don't let them up. Oh, there they go. No, push them back. Come on, calves. Okay, push them down to me. Push them down to me. Sarah. Here we go. Mass chaos. Push them. Sarah, push them. Let me get over here and I'll help you. Yeah, keep pushing them, Sawyer. Push them from the back. So I think if you can get them moving at the front here, that'll get everybody going. There we go. Yeah, once they figure it out, they'll go up front there. There we go. Oh, there goes the lamb. Oh boy. Okay. Go on, Mama. Let's go. You're gonna love it out there. Go on. Go on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, I know. That way. That way. That's our little bottle dude there, bottle lamb that we grafted there. He's doing all right. There's Mama. There's Mama. Where's that lamb?
The lamb just slipped through the fence.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, here we go. We are in. It is mass chaos. It'll be mass chaos here for a while till all the lambs find Mama. We'll get a head count here and make sure we're good. But, sheep and cattle together on this section here on the windmill pasture. We do have an electro net strung out beyond the perimeter, just around the perimeter here. So should have everything out here we need. We got some shade under the trees there at the fence row. There we go. Make sure our grafted guy finds mom there. He's a little small, but he's doing okay. Okay, good stuff here. Everybody's settling down. I think lambs found mom here, mamas, and hear one calling there, but we'll monitor that. Cattle are good. 3 tips today. 3 tips for successful grass-fed sheep and cattle farming. We have a bit of experience now with set stock grazing versus rotational grazing. I guess you could call it selective versus non-selective grazing. Here's point number 1. Always err on the side of animal performance. And this seems like a no-brainer, right? But your animals have to breed back every year, or you're not in business. It's freezer camp when they don't breed back every year. And that's just what we have to, we got to go by that, or we're not in business. And within that animal performance realm, though, there's really a lot to talk about. Check out this curve here. I'll put this chart up. You guys have seen this from me before. This is Mott's curve, and this is showing animal performance versus land performance, or animal performance versus productivity per acre. Now, when we were grazing last year and just doing our 5-acre intensive rotation, we were up to around 40 to 50,000 pounds of live weight animal, running 2 to 3 times, between 2 and 3 times the conventional stocking rate. For my area here, it's recommended that you run about 1 animal unit per acre in my area, which would amount to, it amounts to about 1,000 pounds of live weight animal per acre during the grazing season. We were doing 12 to 13 animal units on 5 acres. Now, what did we learn? Look at Mott's curve here, and this is basically telling us in order to maximize productivity per acre, we have to give up some animal performance. That's part of it, and it's not something that you always hear from the. Look at that red-winged blackbird chasing those calves. I've never seen that before. That's pretty bizarre. But to give up some animal performance for those gains, or to be more productive per acre. In other words, and this gets into selective versus non-selective grazing, as we upped our stock density, we saw productivity per acre increase. But I think where we ended up getting to, being 2 to 3 times the conventional stocking rate, I had one mama out here that was slow to breed back. Okay, she did eventually, she calved, but she was slower than I wanted. And so we're stepping back this year. We've added the additional acreage that we're going to be grazing here, and we're going to be figuring that out, kind of moving into that realm here with more acres to work with, which is good up front. But as we look at this curve again, you can add a labor component to this as well. And speaking of labor, we forgot to close the gate here. Oh boy. Okay, hold up. Okay, there we go. Get her chained up there, Sammer. Okay, we're good now. This is my addition here. Okay, as we look at this curve, and it's labor. And I'm gonna say, as we go out to the right on Mott's curve, we see productivity per acre increase. We see animal performance drop, and I'm gonna say, labor-wise, we need more human labor. The further to the right that we go, the more human labor. Now go the other direction. The further to the left that we go, the more mechanical labor. In other words, so what we're doing here, we're nowhere near 40 to 50,000 pounds stock density live weight animal. Okay, so what we're gonna get here, we're gonna get a tremendous selective graze, which is not ideal. Okay, it's not. Why is it not? Well, animal performance is going to be great, and I'm primarily erring on this side because we've got these little lambs right now. This is our highest energy demand time when we have mamas are early lactation here, they have got to have good stuff. What's going to happen here, and look at the, just beyond the sheep there, look at the multiflora rows. That's what you get when you selectively graze. So when we go to the left on Mott's curve, we need more mechanical labor, meaning we're going to have to mow this. If you're going to selectively graze, you have to mow behind the animals to keep your pastures from degrading. And so these are kind of the parameters. This is kind of what we've learned from doing this. You know, I don't really, there's a lot of gurus out there saying a lot of things, but to me, it kind of all comes back to, when you look at the whole forest, it really is this curve, and animal performance versus productivity per acre. Now, when we were on our 5 acres, I needed to make that work, and I knew that we would be transitioning into more acreage, and so we were very, very productive on and we got a great non-selective graze. But I think we hit the point at 2 to 3 times conventional set stock rate. I think that was where we kind of started to dive on animal performance. Okay, so I think a good goal, honestly, is 2x. I think, and that's my goal. We're on about 20 acres here, so if we can someday get to where we're rotating, we've got a live weight stocking density of at least 40,000 pounds per acre, and we're getting that more of a non-selective graze, but we're shooting more for 2x. Go much above that 2x, and that's where we kind of started to see animal performance dive. And this is my criticism with a lot of the channels, the gurus that you're going to see out there on social media. They're going to tell you how great mob grazing is. Oh, it's phenomenal when we get our stocking density way up, 500,000 or 1 million pounds per acre. Well, here's my question: is phenomenal for what? Well, it's phenomenal for land, for your productivity per acre, and for your land performance, sure. But what you're not seeing, what they're not telling you there, is what's your breedback rate. And I don't hear that from a lot of these guys that are getting that stocking rate way up. Are your mamas breeding back, and are they doing it on time? And so again, that's that first point there, is always err on the side of animal performance. Point number 2 here, 70% TDN, or total digestible nutrients, is the sweet spot. Take a look at this chart from University of Oklahoma. Okay, what's this telling us here? Look at 70% TDN, and this is energy. You've got protein, you've got other things besides energy. Okay, this isn't the end all be all, but look at what they found here. Basically, forage intake is highly correlated with forage quality. Okay, so our most challenging time here really is going to be in the winter, and it's going to be about, if we want to maximize that dry matter intake per day, we've got to be up around 70% TDN. Okay, that's how we're going to do that. You go on either side of that, and you're going to give up gains. Okay, you want to maximize dry matter intake, then you gotta dial in that energy. So can we do that on stockpile? Well, I don't think we're going to hit 70 TDN on stockpile, but with grass fed, we want to time up, and this is the reason I got the bulls pulled off right now, is we want to time up that calving season with when this grass comes on, like right now, like we did with lambing. So the bulls are pulled off. I want to lamb next year in April and May. And, we might be able to do some stockpile through the winter. But I think also what I'm looking at is that high quality haylage that we make, that we had tested. We were, I think we're about a 68% on TDN on that homemade haylage. It's grass clippings, ferment them, airtight container, just a mower with a bagger, doesn't take a whole lot. And pack that stuff, get a good tight pack, get the air out. And be at least mixing that in with the hay. Our hay tests, I think we were at about a 55 TDN. And so that's the other thing. On minimal input ag, I hear, oh, yeah, just a little bit of hay, put that out, and your animals got to thrive. Well, that's an unrealistic expectation, okay, to expect your animals to thrive and to be gaining and to produce and to breed back on a 50 to 55% TDN hay, okay? Just my opinion, okay? And then that point number 3 here, and what I want to drive home is your energy as a farmer is the most important out of any of this, okay? And that's a hard lesson we've had to learn. The good Lord gives us a model, really the original model for, I hate the word, but we'll just say sustainability, the ability to continue. How about that? The ability to continue. Good Lord gives us that model. To me, it looks something like, a day off a week, the Sabbath. And I tell you, when I'm not doing that, and I don't always practice what I preach, okay? I get convinced that, I'm way more important than I am, and I need to be out here doing this or doing that. And I tell you, when I don't take a break, that is the most problematic of all, is when the farmer gets run into the ground and the farmer has no energy left to do any of this. Okay, that's the main thing. So you got to pace yourself. Everybody's got a context. I'm just going over what we've learned, what works for us. Again, always erring on the side of animal performance, trying to hit that 70% TDN on the energy, and then making sure you're well rested and taken care of as the caretaker. If we want to be real candid about things, as we talk about limits, losses as well. Losses are a part of the equation. We've talked about this before. If you don't have losses, then or even if you do, it's your responsibility as caretaker to be improving your flocks and herds, and that means culling, right? That means making meat, getting rid of the weak ones. If you're going to protect animals from nature doing that itself, then you need to step in and to do that. And that's not always straightforward either. Learning, what to look for, what does it look like when you have a thriving animal versus not within your system. There's a whole context there for sheep and cattle, and this is by no means in any way meant to be an exhaustive conversation here. Just 3 tips. Take what you can take, let the rest fall away. And if we can help you, reach out, find us on the website there. There's a contact form. And appreciate you hanging out today, and I'm looking forward to an exciting growing season here on the farm. Everything is just exploding. Best time of the year, lambing and such. Anyhow, thanks for being here. We'll talk to you next time. Take care.